Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Navin. Welcome to BYJU'S, and today we'll be doing CAT 2023 Algebra Part 2. So we'll be looking at more questions from algebra. We have seen quadratic, a bit of logarithmic, a bit of arithmetic progressions and geometric progressions in the previous session. Today we're going to continue with the same. So let's start. The first question is, if the sum of the 9th and 29th terms of an AP equals the sum of the 5th, 15th and 21st terms, then which term of the progression will necessarily be 0? Now, this is based on the formula of general term of an AP, that nth term is given as a plus n minus 1d, where a is your first term and d is the common difference. So, if I want to say, let's say 10th term, so I'll be writing down a plus 9d. So whatever is the term position, one less than that will be multiplied with the common difference. So 9th term is going to be our a plus 8d. 29th term is going to be our a plus 28d. So if we add these two, we'll be getting 2a plus 36d. Now, 5th term is going to be a plus 4d. 15th term is going to be a plus 14d. And 21st term is going to be a plus 20d. If we happen to add these three, we'll be getting 3a plus 20, 30, 38d. Now, as per the question, it is given that they both are same, right? So 2a plus 36d is equal to 3a plus 38d. Or if we rearrange, we will get a plus 2d is equal to 0. Now a plus 2d is nothing but our third term. So our third term is going to be 0. So the answer is going to be option C, right? Ashmita, am I audible now? Is my voice clear? Let me know if my voice is still not audible. Okay, the next one. It's a question from log. So the question says, find the product of all possible values of x if log x plus 6 plus log x minus 6 is equal to log 220. So here what happens is, this is nothing but the base is going to be 10, right? So what happens if we have the common bases and we add two logs? Actually, their values get multiplied, right? So our left hand side will become x plus 6 into x minus 6 is equal to log 220 to the base 10. And we have common log on both the sides. So we will get x square minus 6 square is equal to 220. Or we'll get x square is equal to 220 plus 6 square is 36, which will give us 256. Now, since x square is going to be 256, so we will get x is equal to, either it's going to be plus 16 or it's going to be minus 16, right? So, there is one important thing to notice in the case of logarithm. Whenever you are solving an equation on log, once you get the value for the variable involved in the log, that's not where you need to stop. You need to put those values of the variable back in the equation and see which one of those makes sense. So if we happen to put 16 back, this becomes 22, this becomes 10, no problem with that. If we happen to put minus 16, we get negative values as the value, right? Which is not possible, which is against the rule of the log. So minus 16 is not an acceptable value. So we have only one value of x that will satisfy this, which is going to be 16, right? Okay, another question. This is a question based on inequality. For how many natural numbers n will the inequality n minus 4, n minus 8, minus 5 times n minus 2 is going to be less than equal to 0 and it's going to be satisfied? Now, the thing is, there is nothing common we can take out. So the only way is we will have to open the brackets and then factorize it back, right? Here, since we don't have the options where we can put the values from the options, that is also going to be difficult. Hit and trial will take most probably a lot of time, and maybe we will miss out on important values somewhere. Because it's a quadratic, you don't get value at one place generally, you get at two places also. So that's why it will be difficult using hit and trial. So if we open the brackets, as in if you multiply these two factors, we will be getting n square minus 4 plus 8, that is 12n, plus 4 into 8, that is going to be 32, minus, if we take the second bracket, we will be getting minus 5n plus 10 and less than equal to 0. This rearranges as n square minus 17n plus 42 is going to be less than equal to 0. Now, we have to think of two numbers whose sum is 17 and their product is 42. So, it's going to be 14 into 3. So, we will be getting n square minus 14n minus 3n plus 42 is less than equal to 0. From the first pair of values, if we take out n common, we will be having n minus 14. From the second pair, if we take out 3 common, we will have n minus 14 again. This results in n minus 3 into n minus 14 less than equal to 0. So, whenever you have a quadratic or product of two factors less than equal to 0, the answer always lies between the two values. So, n should be less than equal to 13, sorry, greater than equal to 3 and less than equal to 14, right? So, how many values do we have from 3 and up to 14? So, 3, 4, 5 and so on up to 14. If you count the total number of values from 3 to 14, you will find there are 12 such values. So, option D makes sense, right? Okay, the next one. If f of x is equal to x minus 3 and f square x means f of x and f cube x is f of x. So this is recursive in nature, okay? These functions are called recursive. So when the function calls itself, then it's a recursive function. We need to find out the value of f of 8, 8. So f of 8, 8 means you need to find out f of 8, put it back in the same function. Once you get the value, put it back in the same function and to keep this overall 8 times. Now, whenever you are subtracting, we are dealing with an AP where 8 is your first number, okay, this 8, and this is your minus 3 is your common difference, okay. And which term are we looking at? Okay, the term that we are looking at, since it says 8, we are looking at the 9th term. Okay, so let me explain this in two ways. One is the proper approach, the next one, and then we see the pattern, and the next one is just which I said, first term, common difference, and the nth term, right? So if I want to find out what is f1 of 8, this is going to be 8 minus 3, which is 5. If I want to find out what is f2 of 8, which is going to be f of 8, which is going to be f of 8 will become this as f of 8 minus 3. Now f of 8 we just found out is 5, so this becomes 5 minus 3, which is going to be 2. If I want to find out what is f cube 8, this is nothing but f of 8, which is going to be f of 8 minus 3. Now f of 8 is just the value that we found out, which is 2, and then minus 3, which will result in minus 1. And if you stop right here, what you will find is the terms are 5, 2, minus 1 and so on. 5 was when we had f of 1 of 8, 2 is when we had f of 2 of 8, minus 1 is when we had f cube 8, and this it's not exactly f cube 8, it's f of 3 times 8. So if this continues, so what you find is this is an arithmetic progression, right, where the first term is 5, not 8. But if we take the first term as 8, then the series become like this. And we need to find out this is the first, this is the second, this is the third, and if you need to find out f of 8 of 8, this will be nothing but the 9th term from the beginning, right? So how do we find out nth term of an AP? If you remember, in the very first question we saw this. So if you want to find out the 9th term of an AP, this is given as first number, which is going to be 8, plus, since this is 9th term, so this becomes 8 times here, and common difference, remember, was minus 3. So this becomes 8 minus 24, which is going to be minus 16. So C becomes our answer. So you can see what the pattern is about. 5, फिर 2, फिर minus 1. So ऐसे चलते रहेगा, तो 8th time जाने में we will be reaching minus 16. We'll end up at minus 16, right? Had this been x into 3, this would have been a GP, where 3 would have been the common ratio. If had that been x plus 3, that would have been another AP with a common difference of plus 3. So this is how these kinds of series they behave. This may look like a question on function, which a lot of us we really struggle with. This is not a function. This is just a way to represent how a pattern will follow. Yes, Ashmita. This is true for not only CAT but other management entrance tests as well. Okay, the next one. Find the number of common terms in S1 and S2. So, first series starts with 2, there is a jump of 3, 3, 3, and it goes up to 20 terms. So, the 20th term here is going to be, I will not calculate the precise, I will be like, approximately itne ke aspas hoga. So, if there is a jump of 3, 3, 3, and if it happens, 20 times, so 20th term is going to be around 60. If you look at the second series, it starts with 3, there is a jump of 4, 4, 4, 4. And if I want to find out the 30th term, so the 30th term is going to be approximately, if you jump 4, let's say 30 times. So your 30th term is going to be approximately around 120. So if we want to find out the number of common terms, so the number of common terms will stop at 60 only, right? It doesn't go far from that. What I'm trying to say is first series will stop at around 60 value. Second series will continue up to 120. If you want to find out the number of common terms, so the common terms will only exist up to 60 ke aspas. 60 ke beyond, first series doesn't exist. Second series will continue. So common number to 60 के value के आसपास ही मिलेगा. ये पहला step है आपका कि which series is getting over quicker, earlier. Okay. Next is, you will find that the first number is 11, right? Which is common. And what would be the second number? What would be the third number? ऐसे करके हमें find out करना. Now from here we can proceed in two different ways. The first approach is, I'll be writing down both the series to a certain extent. ठीक है? मैंने 2 लिखा, 5 लिखा, 8 लिखा, 11, and then there will be a jump of 3. There will be a jump of 3, there will be a jump of 3, jump of 3, jump of 3, jump of 3. ठीक है? Last तक नहीं लिख रहे, थोड़ी दूर तक लिख रहे. Second series, it starts with 3, there is a jump of 4, 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 and jump of 4. Minute to stop. Now what you will find is the terms that are common are 11. 11 ke baad the next term that is common is 23. Okay. So if you look at the first series, you have to target the first series. Why? Because first series limits the last term up to where you can find the common terms, right? So if you look at this, you will find that after every 3 terms, the fourth term is common. मतलब अगर आप 4 terms का group लोगे ना, first 4 terms का, the last one is common. Next 4 को group लोगे, last one is common. This is a pattern. And once you have figured out in 2 such groups, they follow which particular term is common. तो इसको देख के can I say कि 1 out of every 4 numbers is common? So 1 out of 20 such numbers, how many will be common? So the answer is going to be 5. Okay. So this is one approach. The second approach being, what is the common terms ka general format? Common terms ka general format is the first number is 11 and then there is a jump of 12, right? So how many times this jump will happen says that this common term is going to be less than equal to the 20th term of the first series. First series pe dhyan dena, second series to way beyond it. So what will be the 20th term here? So the 20th term is going to be a plus n minus 1 into d. So we'll have 19 into 3, 57. 57 plus 2 is 59. And we will have 11 plus 12n is less than equal to 59. 12n is less than equal to 48. N is less than equal to 4. And since we will start with n as 0, so ye 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 tak le sakte ho aap maximum. Because it says less than or equal to, right? It is not less than. Had that been less than 4, तो हम 3 तक लेते हैं. So you will find that there are 5 such values, तो 5 बचा answer. So 2 different ways to solve this. Obviously, I believe you would like the first one, which is obviously easier. The second one requires certain calculations. 2-3 steps ज़्यादा लगते हैं. Okay. Another question, which is based on inequality, but this is not quadratic, this is cubic. Now, the thing about cubic is it's not easy to factorize them. It's not easy to find out the roots of a cubic equation or an expression. तो इसमें हम क्या करेंगे ना, inequality में if the range is given in the options, we will always use the options. ठीक है? So look closely at the options. What you will realize is there are going to be some values which will exist in some of the options and which will not be there in some of the options. ठीक है? For example, अगर मैं ध्यान दूं इधर, तो I will realize that x is equal to 0 exists in A and D. देखो -1 to 1 में 0 आएगा, -1 to 2 के बीच में भी 0 आएगा, and it doesn't exist in B and C. Right? Why did I start with 0? पहला तो reason है कि it's the simplest number. The second reason is looking at the ranges, I realize that 0 can be a part of the approach we are doing. So suppose if I select x is equal to 0 and if I put it in the equation on the left hand side or the inequality, and if it is true, means 0 is a valid value of x. The moment that happens, A and D will be the two options that may be the answer. I mean, one of these two is going to be the answer, whilst B and C definitely rule out हो जाएगा क्योंकि 0 उधर है नहीं, पर 0 satisfy करता है. So if I put x is equal to 0, I will realize that we get -4 less than 0 because the first 3 terms will become 0, right? Which is true. That means 0 acceptable है. The moment I realize 0 is an acceptable value, since 0 doesn't exist in option B or C, हटा दो उन्हें. Now we are left with options A and D. Now within A and D, I will try to find out a value which exists in one of them and not the other. So I believe if I take the value 1, अगर मैं 1 लूंगा तो 1 A में allowed है, and in D 1 is not, it's not allowed, it doesn't exist. Remember, this is not square bracket, this is not enclosed or inclusive bracket. ये आपका small bracket है. -1 to 1 में neither -1 nor 1 is included. Now I have chosen 1. I'll put 1 back here, so I'll be getting 1 plus 1 minus 4 minus 4, which is 2 minus 8, which is going to be less than 0. So 1 is an acceptable value. If 1 is an acceptable value, D is also eliminated. Answer A हो गया. बिना factorize किए. Now this approach is not true for just cubic. This approach is true for any equation which is either linear, quadratic, biquadratic, 1 variable, 2 variables, 100 variables, सबके लिए applicable होता है. हाँ, बशर्ते given that we have the range of the variable that is asked in the options. Okay, next one. किशन 1/4 का मतलब है, आप इसमें देखो ना 1 2 3 4, हर 4 में से एक कॉमन है। नेक्स्ट हर 4 में से एक कॉमन है। सो इसको बोलते हैं 1 आउट ऑफ एवरी 4। कैन आई से 1 आउट ऑफ एवरी 4 is the value that exists in both the series, right? I can say that 1 out of every 4 को मैथ्स में क्या लिखते हैं? 1/4। 1/4 को कॉम्प्लिकेट मत करो, दिस इज ऑब्वियसली अ फ्रैक्शन, बट दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग। आप 4 मार्क्स का एग्जाम लिखते हो, उसमें आपको 1 नंबर आता है, तो यही तो देती है ना टीचर। They have always given you marks like this, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. What does that mean? That's not maths. That's simple कि out of total कितना आपको आया। तो here out of total, which is the denominator, and it is always the denominator, कितना कॉमन है। So वो लिखा। अब हर 4 में एक कॉमन है, तो नेक्स्ट 4 में भी एक कॉमन, नेक्स्ट 4 में, तो टोटल इफ यू हैव 20 numbers, then how many will be common? So instead of calculating पहले 4 में एक कॉमन, नेक्स्ट 4 में एक कॉमन, ऐसे ऐसे एक ही करके काउंट करने की जगह, what does multiplication tell you? एक ही कैलकुलेशन बार बार करना, तो मल्टीप्लाई कर लो। 3 + 3 + 3 + 3 + 3 + 3, 10 बार करना है। तो कौन करेगा 3 को 10 बार ऐड? मैं नहीं कर रहा, मैं सिंपली कर दूंगा 3 × 10। So instead of doing 3 + 3 + 3 10 times, 3 × 10 is the faster approach. So that's what exactly multiplication is, repeated addition. So 1 out of 4, अगर आप 20 बार करना चाहते हो, तो 1/4 20 टाइम्स कौन ऐड करेगा? आप ही बताओ। आप कंफर्टेबल हो गए ये 20 बार इस तरह से लिखने का? 20 टाइम्स 20 वैल्यूज? नहीं ना? तो आप ये लिख दो, ठीक है? आई होप यू नाउ अंडरस्टूड दिस। ओके, the next question. A ball is dropped from the height of 240 meters. The ball bounced back such that it always covered 4/5 of the previous distance. Find the total distance covered by the ball before it comes to rest. Okay. So, पहली बार बॉल ये 240 meters drop करता है, and then it bounces back. कितना bounce करता है? 4/5 of the previous, and then it comes back. Then it further bounces back. कितना? 4/5 of the previous, not the first one, latest का 4/5, and then again it comes back. फिर से ये 4/5 of the previous and it comes back, and this is nothing but a geometric progression, right? Where the first term is 240 and the common ratio is going to be some number, right? So पहला number 240 होगा. The next time it's going to increase by 4/5 of 240, and then it's the same value that it will come back as well. फिर से अगली बार this is going to be 4/5 of the previous value. फिर अगली बार भी ऐसे ही होगा. And how many times is this going to happen? This is going to happen infinite times, right? So, if you pay attention, this will look like 240 plus 4/5 of 2 times 240 plus 4/5 का square into 2 times 240, and this will continue. Now, if I want this to be a geometric progression, अगर मैं इसको a मानूं, तो यहां पे भी मेरे को वही चाहिए. As in, I need to have 2 times 240. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add 240 and subtract 240 later, so that I get a proper series, और एक 240 minus करना होगा last में. So this is going to result in 2 times of 240 upon 1 minus r. R over here is 4/5. ये आपका फॉर्मूला होता है ना, sum of infinite terms is given as a upon 1 minus r. So here a is nothing but 2 times of 240. And what is r? R is the fraction that is getting multiplied, right? So this is the direct formula to calculate sum of infinite terms of a GP. Obviously the common ratio should be less than 1. And let's not forget that 240 extra जो ये minus करने का है हमें, क्योंकि इधर एक्स्ट्रा ऐड करा था to make the calculation easier. So this is going to be 2 times of 240 divided by 5 minus 4, which is 1, into 5 minus 240. So 2 into 5 is going to be 10. 10 into 240 is 2400, and that 240 will get subtracted. So this is going to be 2160. Option B. Right? Okay. Next question. This is again a question on log. Find the value of x where log फिर उसके अंदर log and उसके अंदर log is equal to 1 by 4. Now there are two ways to solve this. पहला है option put करके solve कर लो, दूसरा है इसको properly solve कर लो. Since we have a lot of brackets here, putting in the options, every option will take a lot of time. And what if the correct answer is your third option or maybe the last one? तो time waste होता है काफी, 3 बार check करना पड़ेगा worst case. So you need to practice such kind of questions so that you realize beforehand which is going to be a better approach or faster approach. ठीक है? It's all about time here. So if I use options, it will take me more time. So what I will do is I'll prefer solving it normally. So what happens if you have something like suppose इधर को आपको a लिखा हुआ है और इधर 1 by 4 है. So what happens when you remove log? ऐसे ही common रहता है. See, log is there not on both the sides, है ना? तो क्या करते हैं? When log is removed, this base goes to the other side and it moves the other side as the power. That's exactly how log works. So what is 1/4 of 81? In other words, किस number का power 481 होता है? So this will result in a is equal to 3. So we will be doing this again and again and again as long as we don't reach x. So आप left hand side से शुरू करोगे. That's how you read. That's how maths is solved. You start from the left hand side, encounter every bracket. Every time you come around a log, you will try to eliminate it by moving the base to the other side. दूसरे side पे जो भी है उसका वो power में जाते चला जाएगा. So first step, if I look into this, so if I remove the first log, I will have 3 log base 4. बाकी सब copy paste, which is time consuming. वो पूरा लिखना नहीं चाहिए, इसलिए practice काफी चाहिए. This is going to be 81 to the power 1 by 4, which is going to be 3. The exact same thing what I did before. Now, if I open the next bracket, this 3 and this 3 goes away, right? And if I remove the log, I'll be left with the next bracket, which is 3 plus log to the base 5, 1 plus 3 log x to the base 125, 2 brackets. और ये 4 उधर चला जाएगा और ये 4 का पावर 1 हो जाएगा, right? Which is 4. Now this 3 and this 4, this 3 will go to the other side and we will be left with 1 over here, 4 minus 3. Now I am left with the next log, which is 1 plus 3 log x to the base 125, which is equal to 1. Now if I remove this log, this 5 goes to the other side and it will push it as the power. So I will have 1 plus 3 log x to the base 125 is equal to 5 to the power 1, which is 4. Now this 1 will move to the other side and it will give us 3. And this 3 and this 3 will cancel out and we will have 1. Now we will again, when we remove log, we will have x is equal to 125 to the power 1, which is 125. So the value of x that we get is 125, the very first option. So had we actually put 125 here in place of x and then solve the left hand side, it will eventually become a value which is going to be your right hand side, which is 1 by 4. Right? Okay. The next question, based on inequality, find the values of x that satisfy the inequality. Now we have 4 options, right? All real numbers, x should be greater than -3, x should be greater than 3, and no such value exists. So Inequality and range options में given है तो आप option use कर सकते हो. Looking at the two options where we do see some numbers, because पहले में तो बोल रहा है कुछ भी रख लो, right? And fourth में बोलता है कुछ भी नहीं चलेगा. So if I take a value of x such that इसमें से कुछ unique निकल सके, and again I'll take this easiest value 0. If I take x is equal to 0, it's an acceptable value in B, it's not acceptable in C, क्योंकि 0 -3 से बड़ा होता है, 0 3 से बड़ा नहीं होता है. So if 0 satisfies, तो B should be the answer, should be the option. B could be the option, sorry, because आप 0 जब रख रहे हो और 0 satisfy करता है, it should exist in the final inequality, final range of values, right? So if I put 0 here, this will give us -11/3 on the left hand side, and right hand side पे अपन को 5/4 मिलेगा, which definitely is not greater, right? So 0 is not an acceptable value, तो B गया. And since one value doesn't exist, तब तो all real numbers भी नहीं possible है, क्योंकि 0 तो नहीं हुआ. 0 is a real number. Between C and D now we need to solve this. So C says x should be greater than 3. So let's take a value which is greater than 3. 4 लेते हैं. अगर 4 पे satisfy कर गया तो C answer है. If it doesn't satisfy तो D is going to be the answer, right? If we put 4 over here, we will have 36 minus 11/3, and the other side we will have 48 plus 5/4, right? So this is going to give us 36 minus 11, which is going to be 25/3. And this is 48 plus 5, which is 53/4. 25/3 is 8 point something, and 50 ये point something में मेरे को थोड़ा value put करना पड़ेगा. This is 8.33, and 53/4 is going to be definitely more than 10. 10 क्या ये 12, 13 होने वाला है. Now 8.3 is greater than this. It isn't, right? So even 4 doesn't solve this, तो D आंसर हो गया. X की कोई ऐसी वैल्यू नहीं है जो इसको सॉल्व करने वाला है, ठीक है? मेरे को लग रहा है कि मेरे को कुछ चेक करना चाहिए था. I don't know क्या हुआ है. If I cross multiply, I'll have 36x minus 44 is greater than 36x plus 15. ये cancel out हो गया. Minus 44 is greater than 15, which is not possible. अगर हम इसको normally भी solve करते तो we have gotten an inequality where it says minus 44 is greater than 15, जो कि गलत है. X तो cancel out हो जाएगा, right? So obviously no such value exists. ठीक है? So ये proper approach हो गया step by step, and this is by putting in values. Okay, the next one. The least value of x plus y if log plus log is, again, question on log. So look at the left hand side. With the same base, the values will get multiplied and greater than equal to 8. If you remove log, this 2 will go to the other side. It will push everything to the power. So we will have x into y is greater than equal to 2 to the power 8. अब आपको क्या करना है कि x plus y का minimum निकालना है, least value. Remember, whenever product of two or more values, it's a certain value. Product of two or more than two variables is a certain value. तो उसका sum, variables का sum will be minimum when the values are equal. ठीक है? So that means I have to write 2 to the power 8 as product of two values which are same. So 2 to the power 4 into 2 to the power 4. So x is also 2 to the power 4 as y is. So 2 to the power 4 plus 2 to the power 4, which is nothing but 16 plus 16, which is 32. So option A, 32 will be the answer. Okay, another one. This may look like a question based on functions, but it's not. It's actually a question based on sequences and series. Generally, functions के questions ऐसे ही आते हैं. It's disguised as a sequence and series question. If f of x is equal to f of x minus 1 plus f of x minus 2 for x greater than equal to 3 and f of 1 is equal to f of 2 is equal to 1, then find the value of f of 13. ठीक है? तो एक काम करते हैं, x की value 3 रखते हैं. So if I put x is equal to 3 here, this will look like f of 2 plus f of 1, right? Where f of 1 is 1, f of 2 is 1, and f of 3 is going to be 1 plus 1, which is 2. Now f of 4, if I put x is equal to 4 throughout, so this will become f of 3 plus f of 2. F of 3 abhi calculate kara 2, and the previous one is 1, so this will give us 3. 2 plus 1. F of 5, by putting x is equal to 5, you will get f of 4 plus f of 3. F of 4 abhi calculate kara 3. F of 3 is already known 2, so 2 plus 3 5. And this series continues. This is called Fibonacci series, where every term in the series is equal to the sum of the previous two. अब आपको ऐसे सॉल्व करते जाना है एंड 13th वैल्यू निकालनी है. सो दिस इज योर फर्स्ट वैल्यू, दिस इज योर सेकेंड वैल्यू, दिस इज योर थर्ड वैल्यू, फोर्थ, फिफ्थ, सिक्स्थ, सेवेंथ, एट्थ, नाइन्थ, 10th. पेशेंटली 13th निकाल लो, ठीक है? कोई फॉर्मूला की जरूरत नहीं है, किसी भी फॉर्मूले की जरूरत नहीं है. सो सिक्स्थ वन इज 3 plus 5 8. 7th is 8 plus 5 13. 8th is 13 plus 8 21. 13 plus 21 34. 21 plus 34 55. 55 plus 34 is 89. 55 plus 89 is going to be 144. And 144 plus 89 is going to be 233. Option B. Don't worry, they will not ask you ever कि f of 100th, as in 100th term बताओ, because this is a miscellaneous series and its general term almost everyone doesn't know. मतलब हजारों में एक स्टूडेंट शायद होगा जिसको पता होगा जनरल टर्म, ठीक है? So if they give you a question, they will give you to find out a term which is possible to calculate the way we have done, कि आराम से ढूंढ लो, ठीक है? Okay. Next, now this is a question on modulus. The first question. Find the sum of all the integral values of x satisfying the equation x square plus 4x plus 9 less than 15. Again, two ways to solve this. One is properly solving it and the other is to do hit and trial. Looking at the options, लग रहा है कि hit and trial भी चलेगा और solve भी करना, मतलब solve भी कर सकते हैं. But do remember that quadratic, it's whether equation or inequality, they are not easy to solve. ठीक है? अगर मैं इसको solve करने की कोशिश करूं, शायद I will run out of space here. Okay, they are not easy. ठीक है? और hit and trial में, since it's a quadratic, like I have said before, quadratic में there is always a risk, because in quadratic it's not necessarily that you will get the answers in a continuous range. Sometimes you get in two parts which are separated. Okay, तो एक जगह मिला तो दूसरी जगह भी मिल सकता है. That is also a difficult thing. So if I look at this question in the first go, I am going to leave it because ये time consuming है. It will take 1.5-2 minutes करीब करीब लगेगा. ठीक है? So if I solve this properly, so what happens is whenever you have, let's say, something mod is less than equal to, let's say, 8, random value ले रहा हूँ, तो आप mod हटा सकते हो. When you remove mod, this becomes greater than -8 and less than 8. ये rule होता है. ठीक है? And once you have this rule, then you solve the left hand side inequality एक बार, you solve the right hand side inequality एक बार, and then find the common values. याद रखना common, because x is greater than -8 and x is less than 8. It's not or between them. There is an and means आपको common लेना होता है. So if I remove the modulus over here, I will have x square plus 4x plus 9 greater than -15. and I will have x square plus 4x plus 9 less than 15. ये दो cases बनने वाले. Now, if I look at the first one, the left hand side, this is going to give us 15 plus 9, which is going to give me 24. Which is greater than 0. And the next one is going to give me x square plus 4x minus 6, which is less than 0. The first one becomes x square plus 4x plus 4 plus 20, which is greater than 0, which becomes x plus 2 का whole square plus 20, which is greater than 0. So इसका मतलब x जो है सारे real values लेगा. So it doesn't matter whether you put x as 0 here or minus 10 or minus 1000 or minus 10,000 or plus 10,000. The left hand side inequality will always hold true. Well, the right hand side inequality, we will have x square plus 4x plus 4. 4 add करके 4 subtract कर लेते हैं. This becomes x plus 2 का whole square, and let's take 10 to the other side. We will have x plus 2 ka whole square less than 10. So again, just like modulus, quadratic also behaves in the same way, right? So it will be less than root 10 and greater than minus root 10. Now root 10 is 3 point something, right? So this is minus 3 point something, and this is going to be x plus 2 less than 3 point something, right? From here we will have x is greater than minus 5 point something and will be less than 1 point something if I take 2 to the either side. अब x minus 5 point something से ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. So x is going to take the value minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0. And x should be less than 1 point something. So 1 तक तो allowed है, right? So these are the values that x is going to take. Now, the common values between them, since x takes all real values and x takes only these limited values, तो अपन के लिए ये वाला लेंगे. Now, why am I taking integral? Because the question says integral आपको लेना है x के. सारे values लेंगे लेना है. किल integrals, right? So, we need to find out sum of all such values. So, this is the solution set. अब इसमें आप क्या करोगे? आप इधर values add कर लोगे. 0, minus 1, 1 cancels out. So, इनका sum कितना है? 5, 3, 2 is 10 and another 4 is 14. So, 14 में भी negative sign है. So, the answer is minus 14. Like I said, it's not easy, and you will have to break it down from inequality, go back to inequality and find the range of values. If I would have not solved it properly, but rather did hit and trial, ये कुछ ऐसा चलने वाला था कि मैं x की value 0 रखता सबसे पहले. Always put in this easiest value. So what you will get within the mod is 0 plus 9, which is इसका mod is less than 15. This is true. So 0 एक acceptable value है. After this, what you do is you fluctuate 1 minus 1, 2 minus 2, 3 minus 3, ऐसे करना होता है. ठीक है? So if I take x is equal to 1, I'll get 1 plus 4 plus 9, which is 14 less than 15. ये भी true है. Then I will take x is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 रखेंगे तो this is 1 minus 4 plus 9. This is 6, which is less than 15. ये भी सही है. So x के values आते चले जा रहे हैं. X is equal to 2. This is going to be 4 plus 8 plus 9, which is not less than 15, right? This becomes 21. 21 15 से छोटा नहीं होता. तो 2 नहीं मिल रहा. The moment you don't get 2, don't check for 3. Let's check minus 2 now. If I take minus 2, this is going to be 4 minus 8 plus 9 का mod, which is going to be 5. 5 is less than 15. अब minus 2 आ गया ना, तो now jump. 2 3 का jump ले लो. Suppose if I take x is equal to minus 4. So this is going to be 16 minus 16 plus 9, which is less than 15. It is, right? अब फिर 2 का jump ले लो, x is equal to minus 6. So this is going to be 36 minus 24 plus 9, which is 21, which is not less than 15. तो minus 6 पे नहीं आया, minus 4 पे आया. So check the value between minus 4 and minus 6. If I take minus 5, I'll get 25 minus 20 plus 9, which is 5 plus 9, 14, which is less than 15. So what I realize from here is कि 0, 1, minus 1 से करते करते minus 5 तक जा रहा है. 1, 0, minus 1 से करते करते minus 5 तक जा रहा है. So I get the same values, but it will require very precise calculation, and ये बहुत लंबे समय तक भी जा सकता है. Okay, so this is what we say hit and trial or seesaw approach. आप एक वैल्यू लेते हो फिर सेकेंड वैल्यू लेते हो. ठीक है. Okay, so don't forget everyone to like. Please like the video if it helped you in one way or the other. Okay, please meet our CAT 2022 toppers, Vinayak, Sarojit, Smarth, Vidhi and Puval. You can be one of these people here this year. So these students, all of these students are our comprehensive program, online comprehensive program students. They all have scored, and many students more have scored more than 99 percentile. So these are all the things that we give away in our program. Okay, you get a learning tablet, you get hundreds of hours and total videos as watchable, recorded sessions, you get more than 75 marks, we help you with your GDPI and VAT preparation, you get more than 10,000 questions to practice. Okay, you get proper books for you to revise and practice in the offline mode. Okay, so a new batch is going to start. So the link is given in the description below, and it is there also in the chat. So all you have to do is click on the link and receive a call from one of our executives. They will help you understand, what are our, what all things are there in this package, in this particular product. Okay. And in order to avail a scholarship for the same program, you can write a scholarship test on 29th of April at 7 p.m. Okay. The scholarship test is free of cost. More than 27,000 students have received scholarship worth rupees more than 1 crore. So the link for the registration is also given in the link below. Okay. On 25th of April at 7 p.m., which is today, Mr. Saral is going to take a session related to expert strategy to ace CAT 2023. So you can ask your queries regarding this year's CAT. Whatever it is, whether it is related to preparation, whether it is related to how you should approach a mock, which all exams you should go after. Okay, so everything that you would like to know, please make sure that you attend this session. Everything will be said here. 23rd April onwards until 2nd May, please make sure to join us for Last Lab to CMAT 2023 every day. So subscribe to our channel and please press the bell notification icon so that every time a session is going to start, you are notified about it and you do not miss on any of these sessions. You can download our app for free from Play Store, and you can attempt our daily section-wise quiz. It will help you boost your confidence in the concepts as well as problem solving. Okay, so make sure that you download the app right away. And 500 most expected CAT questions series we have started from April 6th. So today was another session on that series. Make sure that you subscribe for this as well, subscribe our channel for this, and make sure that you join. So it will help you a lot to save time so that you don't have to practice and revise, and if there is any doubt in the question, you have to do it all by yourself. All you have to do is attend the session and it will help you. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and like our Facebook page. You can also join our Telegram channel and download our app. Well, thank you everyone, thank you for joining. I'll see you again very soon. Until then,